Good morning, Rehab Christian Center. It is good to see you this morning and welcome to our broadcast. I'm grateful to be here and grateful you have joined us this morning on another cold morning. Though it's supposed to be relatively nice here in Carolina, it is good to see you virtually. And thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor if you have not already, start liking this video, sharing this video, and telling people to, first of all, wake up and to jump on the line. We've got a very powerful, practical message for you today. This series, Thirst Traps uh, Cuffing Season, has been a powerful one. And we've received so much great feedback from people who have been blessed literally from everywhere over this series. And so we're grateful to be here. Today's message, Dating with a Purpose, is just not for single folk. It's for married folk too. And I promise you, I'm going to be sharing some things with you this morning that will bless all of you, regardless of your position, because there's some very practical things that we can learn today as a result of this message. And so grateful to have you here. Grateful you're sharing with us. Now, I want you to start liking this video, sharing this video with everybody that you know. And let's get ready to get into this. This is going to be powerful. And again, I'm excited to be here today. Again, we're going to be talking from the subject, dating with a purpose. And it's going to be powerful. And I'm glad you're here. Facebook, good morning to you. It's good to see you virtually. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, thank you so much for coming and tuning in. It is good to see you. If you have not already, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button, hold it down, turn it to a love button, hit that share button, and then I want you to hit the @ symbol and tag 5 people and tell them to tune in this morning. We've got a very powerful, practical lesson. We're still on this series, this dating relationship series, and we're touching a little bit of everything from single folk to married folk to everything in between. And today's going to be powerful. And so today is just not, again, for single people. This is for married people. Doesn't matter what your status is. Some of you have statuses with no labels. I'm not going to get into that today, but it doesn't matter what your status is. There are some practical things that you need to understand today about dating and dating with a purpose that impacts you, whether you are single, married, it doesn't matter. And you're going to be glad you tuned in today, as always. We've got a powerful lesson for you. So good morning to you, Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not, again, like this video, I want you to like this video, love this video, hit the share button, tag 5 people and tell them to tune in. Instagram, good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, thank you so much for tuning in. Our Instagram numbers have really picked up over the last couple of weeks. And I have no doubt in my mind, it has a lot to do with the dating relationship series. And so I'm so grateful for those of you via Instagram that have been tuned in. One thing about Instagram, they're going to come late, but when they come, they're going to be there. And so I'm good to see those of you that are already tuned in on Instagram. Do me a favor. Make sure you say good morning in the chat area. Thank you. And then hit that heart button, fill it up with hearts. Let me know you're tuned in. And then finally, Instagram, I want you to tag 5 people. Hit the @ symbol in the comments, tag 5 people. Or hit that little share button and share this video to 5 people now and tell them to tune in. We've got a very powerful message on dating, and it's going to be tremendous. And I'm excited to be here today and so grateful, Instagram, you have tuned in and joined us today. All right. YouTube, good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not following us on YouTube, you can do that at TheREHABCC. Go to YouTube in the search bar and type in at TheREHABCC, or rather just TheREHABCC. And you can follow us on YouTube, and you can go back and take a look at all of our archive messages. And I promise you it will be a blessing to you. And just grateful again for those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, and then really all of our networks. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, I want you to hit that like button. I want you to hit the subscribe button. If you have not subscribed to our channel, do that so that you can be alerted, notified. I just received an alert myself that Rehab was live and on the air, and it's an awesome feature. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified when our messages are live. And then I want you to hit that share button and share this video to your networks. It doesn't matter what network you're connected on. I want you to share this video, tag somebody, tell them to tune in. We are excited today to be here and just grateful again to be with you on this morning. I literally was in the bed all day yesterday, sick as a dog. I don't know what happened, but feeling much better today and so grateful to be here with you. So grateful you have tuned in. and so grateful you have joined in with us today. And so I'm excited to be here, excited to have you with us. Again, start tagging this video, sharing this video. You got 60 seconds. I need you to do this quickly. 60 seconds. I need you to start tagging this video, sharing this video with 5 of your friends on your friends list, 10 of your friends on your friends list. Tell them to wake up, get out the bed, and tune in because this is going to be a very powerful message, very powerful lesson that we're going to share this morning. And I'm so grateful that you have joined us. Good morning to all of you. As you come in, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. As I'm giving you all a few more seconds, we're getting ready for the declaration this morning. And again, I want to get right into this lesson because I'm going to eventually give you 5 very practical dating tips that are going to bless your life. And they're simple, but they're practical and they're powerful. And again, doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced, situationship, doesn't matter your status. This is going to be powerful, and it's all going to be rooted in the word. And I'm excited to be here with you today. All right, let's get into the declaration. If this is your first time tuning in to the Rehab Christian Center, you may not know this, but every Sunday morning, we go through our declaration. People ask, what does rehab mean? What does it stand for? And rehab is an acronym that means, or stands for rather, restore, evangelize, hope, alternatives, breakthrough. It is the 5 pillars by which our ministry has been created. And every Sunday, whether live or virtually, we always go through the declaration to remember our purpose for ministry and remember our purpose for doing the things that we do. And so if you have not locked into this declaration, I want you to stop what you're doing now. Literally. And if you're on Facebook, YouTube, you can see it on the screen. Instagram, we're working on it. But if you're on Facebook, YouTube, you can see it on the screen. And I want you to stop what you're doing. I always repeat the declaration or say the declaration, but I pause. I say it slow and I pause to give you a chance to repeat after me. But we believe not only in the power of life and death being connected to what we say, but also we understand that it is not just connected to what we say, but how we feel about what we say. And so your emotions, your energy behind your words matter. And so I want you all to say the declaration with us this morning. As you are tagging people, feel free to keep tagging people as I'm going through the declaration. Because when I finish the declaration, I want to dive right into this lesson today. And just again, excited to share this with you all on this morning. All right, so let's go through the declaration. All right, let's start here. Restore, say it with me. We declare that everything that is broken, lost, hurt, or destroyed that belongs to us and has been designed by God is restored. My faith is restored. My joy is restored. My mind is restored. Even my lost time is restored. I am no longer broken. The fact that I'm alive means I have another chance. My faith has restored me. And right now, his love is making me whole. Evangelize. Say it with me. We declare that God helped us so we can help somebody else. He loved me when I was unlovable. He changed me when I was a mess. His love lifted me when I was down. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And anything that came for me can't keep me. Because I'm free, my circle is next. My family is saved. My friends are blessed. My plans are successful. My goals are ahead of schedule. And anything connected to me is blessed, just like me. Hope, say it with me. We declare that everything that is missing is not lost. In Jesus, I have hope. And this hope makes me confident. It doesn't matter what happens to me or around me. I'm going to win. My relationships are winning. My goals are winning. My family is winning. My neighbor is winning. This city will win and my row has the victory. My past is defeated, and my future is brighter today than it was yesterday. Alternatives. Say it with me. We declare that God made us different. I'm a royal child, the light of the world, and the hope of my city. I respect the past, but I don't look like what I've been through. I love the church, and my life is balanced. I love coming to church, but I like flights, boats, and vacations. My whole life is blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender, not a borrower. And every place I go belongs to me. Breakthrough. Say it with me. We declare that God has a breakthrough with our name on it. I have some challenges, but I am not defeated. No weapon formed against me can prosper. And I know that all things are working for my good. Things are not breaking down, they are about to break through. There is a breakthrough in my career. There is a breakthrough in my home. There is a breakthrough in my health. There is a breakthrough in my finances. I am here on purpose, for a purpose, and everything that went wrong is getting ready to turn around. Did you make that declaration with me today? If you did, I want you to type in the comments right now. We're getting ready to enter the 12th and final month of this year. I want you to type in the comments right now. It's already done. Would you do that for me? Type in the comments now. It's already done. If you made that declaration of faith with me, I want you to type in the comments now. It's already done. Would you not know that God has messed around and given you the answers to the test? He told you he was going to do some things in January this year. And guess what, folks? You have just over 30 days left in this year, which means if he has not done it yet, December must be your month. I want you to type it in the comments now. It's already done. It's already done. God has messed around and given you the answers to the test. He's messed around and given you a clue into when he's going to do it for you, because it ain't happened all year long. And you got just over 30 more days for God to answer your prayers. And I'm here to tell you, he's not a man that he will lie. Everything he promised you, it has to come to pass. And I want you to stand on that today. Stand in confidence this week as you get ready to enter into this final month of 2021, that God is getting ready to make good on his promises. I want you to type in the comments quickly. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. Good. I'm seeing a lot of this. Good. Keep it going. It's already done. We're excited about it. We're standing on it. And certainly hope that you're doing the same. Listen, y'all, let's get into this. I've got to get into the word. I'm excited today. Pastor promises not to run over. I've got to get into this word today, and just excited to be here. I want you to type the subject in the comments. We are dealing with dating with a purpose. I want you to type it in the comments now. Dating with a purpose. All right. Dating with a purpose is what we're going to deal with today. And I'm excited because I'm excited because this is going to be a powerful series. And this has been rather a powerful series. And today's going to be a very powerful and practical lesson. Again, this is not just for single people. It's for married people. It's for divorced people. It's for whatever your status is, people. Today is going to be a powerful message, and I'm just excited that you've tuned in. Again, if you have not tagged 5 people, I want you to hurry up and do it, because you know how this goes. Once we get into it, people are going to wish they were in from the beginning. This is going to be a powerful message, and I'm excited to be here. Now, let me get out of that screen because I literally, a note came to me and I had to record it. And oh shoot, my train of thought. Where is it? There it is. A note came to me. I had to record it, and that's how it is sometimes. Yeah, I've literally got my journal here. I've got my laptop here. I've got a lot going on here. But I hate to miss things that come to me as I even talk. And that's one of the beauties of being in this virtual environment. Kind of hard to do that when you're standing up and you're teaching or preaching or whatever. But I'm glad to be here today. And again, just grateful you tuned in with us. Now, dating with the purpose. This is where I want to start. I want to start at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6 through 9 in the New Living Translation. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 6 through 9, New Living Translation. This is the text that I want to give you biblically that I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you this biblical text, and then I'm going to get into some other supplemental things, and then I'm going to give you the 5 tips for dating that you need to know. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I've got to keep saying this. This ain't just for married single people. This ain't for married, just for married people, divorced people, separate, whatever your status is. There are going to be some nuggets today that can apply to your life. I promise you. And so I want you to bear with me. This is going to be good. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6 through 9, New Living Translation is where I'm going to start. I'm going to go through these verses because I need to make a really good point here. Okay, let's start here. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6 through 9. I'm in the New Living Translation. All right. Verse 6 says this: I say this as a concession, not as a command. Verse 7, but I wish everyone were single just as I am, yet each person has a special gift from God of one kind or another. Verse number 8. So I say to those who aren't married and to widows, it's better to stay unmarried just as I am. This is Paul talking. All right. Verse number 9. But if they can't control themselves, they should go ahead and marry. It's better to marry than to burn with lust. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but let me just start off with this bullet point. And bullet point number 1 is this. I want you to record it now. Bullet point number 1 is this: there is not somebody for everybody. I'm going to get in trouble. There is not somebody for everybody. I know you ain't heard that before. I'm getting ready to help you. There is not somebody for everybody. Now, I know you look around, you see people with people, you see people dating people, married to people, whatever. You say, wow, they got somebody. There's got to be somebody out here for me. Now, hear you. The reality is there is not somebody out here for everybody. The bottom line is singleness. I want you to record this. I'll give you a lot today. Singleness, or being single, is the destiny and gift for some people. Singleness, or being single, is the destiny, it's the landing space, rather, and the gift for some people. I know I'm hurting you single folks' feelings, but let me just start here. The reality is, for some of you, your destiny is to be single forever. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For some of you, your destiny is to be single forever. We got biblical proof here. Reality is, Paul says, Paul says that his command is that at the end of the day, he wishes more people were single. And there's more context to his explanation here, where he really talks about how being single really positions people to dedicate their life more to their purpose and to God and to things concerning their purpose. You would understand that, especially when you become married, your purpose doesn't necessarily change, but the amount of time that you can dedicate to your purpose does shift, because when you have a family, your responsibilities change. Okay, am I teaching all right? When you have a family, your responsibilities do change. Well, let me take that back. They should change, right? I saw a post earlier a couple of days ago that was a powerful one, and that is that especially those of you that claim to love God, that want to work in ministry, that want to do church stuff, or forget even not even that. Let's say you just own a business, right? You're an entrepreneur, you're a manager or supervisor on your job, and now you got a family. Let me tell you something. It is better for you to be successful in your house than it is in the streets. It is more commendable for you to be successful in your house than it is in your business, in your church, on your job. It is more important that you are successful in your home when you have a family than it is in those things that you've been purposed to do. And so we get it backwards. We think that when we get married or when we end up with people, that our purpose is still our first priority. And your purpose is not your first priority. Your family is your first priority. I know y'all don't like this. It's okay. Your family is your first priority if you're going to do it right. Okay. And so the reality is, for some of you, that will be your track where God has somebody for you and you'll end up with them. And then their importance will then supersede the importance of your purpose, and you'll go on and do that. But the reality is, and I know some of y'all don't like this, some of you have been destined to be single. And I'm not saying it's easy. In fact, Paul says that singleness is a gift. Why is singleness a gift? Well, here we go. The reason why singleness is a gift is because if you're going to be single the right way, you have to be disciplined. I want you to record this. If you're going to be single the right way, you have to be disciplined. If you're going to be single the right way, you have to be disciplined. Meaning, you can't do stuff that everybody else does and claim the gift of singleness. See, many of you are bragging, talking about, I'm single. I like being single. But 80% of the time, you're spending your time doing stuff that taken and married folk do. So singleness is not a gift of you. You're just doing stuff without a title. You're just existing without the title of it, right? Singleness, Paul says, is a gift because you have to be disciplined if you're going to be single the right way. Some of you yelling you single, but your body count is rising by the week. You not single. I want to say this again. You're not single. If your body count is rising by the week, yeah, you ain't in a relationship with nobody, technically title-wise. Yeah, you're not married to no, but if your body count is rising by the week, you're not single. I know you never heard teaching single like this before, but the reality is you're not single. Number one, not only you for the streets, but two, you don't have the discipline to claim singleness because, and Paul says it plainly, and I want to deal with this really quickly. I don't have a lot of time today to mess with y'all, so don't agitate me. But I want to deal with this really quickly, especially verse 9, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 9, where Paul says it explicitly. If you can't control yourself, then go ahead and marry somebody. And he's obviously talking about the discipline that it takes to be single. He's obviously talking about the discipline that it takes to abstain from things that taken married people do. So Paul says, if you can't control yourself, it's better to go ahead and marry than to burn with lust. Now, I want to say this, and I'm going to get in trouble here, and it's life. How can I put this? Let me just say it. Y'all stop going out here marrying people under the pressure of needing to be married. And I'm especially talking to those of you that have maybe had kids before you got married. Maybe you had kids while you were single. Maybe you had kids from a previous marriage and now you feel this pressure to go out and get somebody. Don't succumb to that pressure. People mistake this verse and think, oh, I got to go out here and get somebody. I got to have somebody because it's better to marry than to burn. No, because what happened in the old church, and I'm going to hurt some of your feelings, but I'm going to say it. What happened in the old church is You had bishops and pastors coercing people to get married under this verse, better to marry than to get burned, or coercing people to get married under the guise of, well, you got a baby with them, you might as well marry them. And they're not the same. Just because you got a baby with somebody does not mean you are supposed to marry them. 30 seconds doesn't always translate to a lifetime. Are y'all listening? 30 seconds for most of y'all does not always translate to a lifetime. So stop feeling like you are being coerced or have to be coerced to go out here and marry people because you got kids with them, because you got history with them, because you're doing things with them. No, you need to work on your discipline. You need to work on being able to control yourself, because the reality is, and I can't get into this a lot, I'm going to do a live tomorrow on my personal Facebook, and it's going to be phenomenal. But let me just say this to give you a tease. The reality is, I don't care how much you love them, who they are, whatever. There's some people you just can't make a mate out of them. Now, I'm just trying to teach and help somebody. I don't care. My bad. I don't care who they are. There's some people you just can't make a mate out of, and I don't care what the bishop say. I don't care what your pastor say. I don't care about none of that. Do not coerce people, force people to go out here and get married under circumstances that are, in my opinion, superficial. Kids are important, but superficial. If you're a single parent, you can raise your kids as a single parent, and your kids can be okay. They can. If you are a divorced parent, you got kids, you can go out here and raise your kids be okay. Now, I might see somebody else, you can me married with them, raise your kids, and you can be okay. You can be okay. But I watched. Not my father never did this, and this is one of the millions of reasons why I love my daddy. My father never did this. He never told people, "Look, you got to go ahead and get married because y'all got kids." Because again, 30 seconds of fame, 30 seconds of speed humping does not always translate to a lifetime of a connection. It just doesn't. And so Paul says that singleness is a destiny or a destination, and it is a gift for some people. There are some people that have the gift of being single. I know he wouldn't mind me saying this. It was good to see my my Uncle Barry this week for Thanksgiving. And my Uncle Barry is very successful. He's a minister. He's very successful in business. He ain't gonna watch this broadcast. So I'm gonna say that he made a lot of money. He got a whole lot of money. That's definitely my favorite uncle. Got a whole lot of money. Very attractive man, and single, no kids, no nothing. All his money going in his pocket. And I really believe he's one of those people. You just meet people who have everything that it takes to be married, but their destiny is just singleness. They have a gift to be single, and that's okay. Y'all stop. And I'm especially talking to you grandparents, you parents, you grandparents, you great grandparents, you church mothers, you church deacon. Y'all stop pressuring people. Leave my Uncle Barry alone. They talk about some, hey, Uncle Barry on Instagram. Y'all leave my uncle alone. He is off limits. There are some people, there are some people that you meet that just have the gift to be single. Like, I don't know if you all know people like that are successful. They would make great mates. They got, they're financially stable. They're spiritually strong. They're fun people. They're attractive. They got all that it takes. Elder Missy, you will not be my aunt. Okay. Stop. Don't make me laugh. It hurts. You will not be my aunt. That ain't happening. Aunt Aunt Misty. Hey, Aunt Misty. Oh my God. Listen, there's some people that have everything that it takes to be with people, but their calling is just to be single. And they do it well. And they ain't out here running the streets. Again, go back to what I said in my introduction, because I want to make it clear. Some of y'all hollering, you glad to be single, but no, you just single and out here smashing everything that you can see and hit. And you calling that singleness. No, you just a hoe without a title. Okay. And that's just what it is. I said, I don't care if you don't like it. You single and you out here and your blood count, your body count is rising by the week. You just a hoe without a title. That's all you are. So stop yelling you single. You not single. You a hoe without a title. And I meant what I said. Before I take it back, I'll add to it. Singleness is a gift, because if you're going to do it, you have to do it the right way. All right? You have to do it the right way. Now, I want you to record this. You ready? There's something else that's going to hurt some of y'all's feelings. You ready? Falling in love is not the reality of the believer. Falling in love is not the reality of the believer. Falling in love is not the reality of the believer. Okay? Falling in love is not the reality of the believer. I've taught this to Rehab before. I want to say this in this virtual space because I think it's going to help somebody. Anything you fall into does not involve wisdom. It doesn't involve purpose. It doesn't involve understanding. I don't care what that is. Anything you fall into has no wisdom associated with it. And I know we hear on TV, in pop culture, things like, I want to fall in love. I don't want to fall in nothing. I don't want to fall in nothing but my money. Okay? Falling in love is not the reality of the believer, because for the believer, love has to involve some wisdom. Now, that wisdom isn't always comprehended by everybody else, and that's okay. Wisdom is not about people understanding you. Wisdom is about you understanding you. Okay, I want to say that again. Wisdom is not about everybody understanding you. Wisdom is about you understanding you and you understanding what needs to be done. So sometimes when I make decisions, let's just take dating out of this. Sometimes when I make decisions in life, I make decisions, and when I make those decisions, they're not always understood by people. But if I understand the decision, one, and two, the decision then connects to a greater purpose that is connected to who I am, then I'm good. And you got to embrace that, because we think wisdom is about people getting us. Man, he's so wise. I understand everything he does. He's so wise. Or I understand everything she does. She's so wise. That ain't wisdom. That might in some ways be popularity. That might in some ways just be people just understanding you. And that's okay. But I've discovered that wisdom isn't always understood. And so I want to lift up to you that a love that does not involve wisdom or understanding is blind love. Blind love is a love that does not involve wisdom or understanding. Blind love is a love that does not involve wisdom or understanding. Again, not wisdom according to what people think or what people want for you, but I'm talking about wisdom that you get that relates to your purpose, relates to the plans for your life. Wisdom that does not involve, or love that does not involve wisdom or understanding, is blind. Okay, so we got to be careful here. Now, not only that, we also need to be careful not to mistake something hard for something not being God. Okay, and I'm gonna make this connect real easy. We also have to make sure that we do not mistake something being hard for something not being God, because that's not always the case. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs tells us The blessing of the Lord, or the blessings of the Lord make rich and add no sorrow. Sorrow in the Hebrew means grief. It doesn't mean trouble. It means grief. Grief and trouble are two totally different things. When something grieves you and when something gives you trouble, those are two totally different things. Here's what I'm trying to get at. Some of you have aborted love in your life because it got hard, because some trouble came with it, because some problems came with it. And then you went back to the Bible and said, well, can't be God. Blessed the Lord, make it rich and add no sorrow. It's not what it's saying. It's not what it's saying. Grief typically relates to loss. Grief typically relates to loss. Trouble comes with things oftentimes that are worth having. Problems oftentimes come with things that are worth having. And the easiest example I can give to make this make sense are vehicles. Because here's the reality. Every car you buy is going to give you some problems. Doesn't matter if it's a Subaru, Toyota, Honda, Jeep, Mercedes, BMW, Maserati, Bentley, Audi, whatever. Any car you buy is going to give you trouble. Here's the problem. The more expensive the car, the more it costs you to have the car, the more expensive it will be to repair that car. It doesn't mean that's a bad car. It means that in order to have that car, you are willing to understand that the thrill of having the car also comes with a great price. I'm teaching better than y'all saying amen. Some of you have run away from situations where the love could have been great, but there was a great price to pay. And this is where people end up settling. This is where settling enters the stage, because some of you would rather have a Honda because you know if it get broke, you can fix it. Some of you would rather have a Subaru because you know if there's a repair to it, you can deal with that. You don't want no Audi. You don't want a Range Rover, Land Rover, because when the repairs or when something's broken on that, that means you're going to have to pay a price to keep it. Y'all missing the revelation. You're going to have to pay a price to maintain it. And love and relationships work the same way. The greater the reward, the greater the price you're going to have to pay. Let me say this slow. I wish I could say it in Spanish. The greater reward, the greater the reward as it comes to the relationships you desire, the love you desire, the folks you desire to date, be with, whatever. The greater the reward, the greater the price you're going to have to pay. It's so funny. I counsel people all the time. The last couple that I married this summer reached out to me. The Johnsons, so proud of them. Robert reached out, texted me just yesterday, sent me a picture of him and his wife doing wonderful, and had some very good counseling sessions with them before I married them, and had really good conversations about a lot of different things. When I'm counseling and coaching people about this, one of the things that I share with them is simple. Everybody say they want a boss. Everybody want a CEO. Everybody wants somebody that's in charge. Everybody wants somebody that's the man. Everybody wants somebody that's the woman. Here's the problem. When you sign up for that, it's great. You're going to have a great time. You might have a few coins. You might be able to travel, enjoy yourself, do fun stuff. It's great. But there's a great price to pay when you connect it to somebody who running organizations. There's a great price to pay when you connect it to somebody who's a business owner, an entrepreneur. Yeah, she cute, but she running a business, which means she ain't going to be able to lay up under you all day. Yeah, he fine. Yeah, he got some money, but he got to make that money. He's running a business. He's running an organization, which means he's not going to be able to answer your text every 2 minutes. And see, some of y'all had great people, but because the price was great, you threw them away because you thought, nah, I can't do that. I can't deal with that. Let me get over here and get me a Honda, a Honda. When I text them, they ain't never busy. They can text me back. When I text her, she ain't never tied up. She can get right back to me. She can lay up under me all day. And that's what you settle for. And that doesn't mean, let me just clarify this because I don't want nobody to come for me. It doesn't mean that y'all can't live a nice, happy, successful life and go on and live happily ever on. It's possible, but it's the difference between eating bologna and eating steak. It's the difference between having something that's good and having something that's great. And I hate to break the news to some of you. Some of you have settled for what's good for so long that you wouldn't know great if it slapped you in your face. Some of you have settled for good for so long that when great did show up, because the price was so great, all the energy you had put in your past into settling for good got you so scary to go after what's great. You cannot have something great in your life. You cannot have great people in your life. I like that word, elder, without sacrifice. Everybody want a good relationship, but folk don't want to make no sacrifices. Everybody want a good mate, but folk don't want to make sacrifices. And you can't have it both ways. You can't have a boss and a lazy person at the same time. You can't have a boss and somebody who's always available at the same time. Some days you're going to have to pout and have your mouth and your lips stuck out because you want more time with them, but they can't give it to you because they got to go out here and work and be on their purpose, man or woman. You can't have it both ways. Because here's the reality, and especially to you ladies, listen to me. You ladies, listen to me. Here's the reality, because whether you want to say this out loud or not, I'll say it. Whether you want to say it out loud or not, here's the reality. Part of what makes him so attractive, if he is a boss, is the fact that he is one. Now, you probably won't say that out loud. Well, Pastor, it ain't about what he got. It ain't about busy. It ain't about how much money he got. It ain't about, it ain't about that, the looks and stuff. That's superficial, Pastor. He's a nice guy. Okay, I'm with you. Amen. He's a nice guy. He knows how to treat you. That's great. But keep it 100 with me. Admit this to me and keep it 100. Be honest and admit that part of what makes a woman attracted to a man that is a boss is the fact that he's on his purpose and he's connected to a grind. Y'all don't like the way I'm teaching here. Because here's the reality. You want more reality? You want more reality? I'm going to get in trouble. I try not to go here, but here we are. You want more of a reality? The reality is this. I don't care how cute he is and how nice he is. None of y'all want to make love in the dark unless you cut the lights off. Unless you cut the lights off, y'all want to make love in the dark. Which means he got to have some coins to keep the lights on. Most of you women like to eat. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I love women that like to eat. I'm a foodie. But you ain't trying to go get a 4 for 4 every week. He got to have a job. He's got to be on his purpose. And as good as you do the stuff that you do, when the next morning comes, he got to get up and go to work. Now, if that ain't your response, I'm telling you, you think you want a boss, but you really don't. I know y'all don't like it. It's the truth. It's just what it is. I don't care. You can say whatever you want to. I am very conscious of the fact that while people may think certain things about me superficially, at the end of the day, part of what makes people who are bosses and grinders who they are is the attractiveness that comes with them being on their purpose. Y'all not talking to me. Instagram talking to me. Facebook getting quiet. But it's the truth. You can't have it both ways, right? And so you got to be careful there to not throw away something to say, well, This ain't God because there's a lot of strain with this. There's a lot of struggle with this. No, if you're dating a boss, there's gonna be a struggle. If you're dating a boss, she's a boss. There's gonna be a struggle. That comes actually with the territory. But don't hit me with the blessings of the Lord, make it rich and add no sorrow to it, because that ain't got nothing to do with this verse. Sorrow in this context, or that context, is dealing with grief. We're not talking about grief. We're talking about trouble. And troubles will come. Problems are going to come. But again, if you want something exceptional, you can't get something average. Y'all probably should record that. If you want a relationship that's exceptional, you probably shouldn't choose somebody that's average. And here's the reality. I don't care how much you dress them up. I don't care how much you dress her up. If they average, they just average. If you put some red bottoms on a donkey, it's still a donkey. If you put some red bottoms on a donkey, it's still a donkey. And the reality is, if you want something exceptional, you can't choose nothing average, because you're going to get what you choose. It doesn't matter who you are and how special you are. Choose something average, get something average. Choose something exceptional, get something exceptional. That's just the way it goes. Okay? All right? So, let me say this. Before you decide to date, I want you to record this. Before you decide to date, this is important. It's very important. Very, 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 very important. Before you decide to date, because we already talked about Paul saying that singleness in 1 Corinthians 7, verse 6 through 9. If you didn't catch it, go back, record to the beginning, go back to the beginning of the broadcast. I want you to catch it. He already said 1 Corinthians 7, 6 through 9, that singleness is a destiny, it's a gift for some people. I want you to remember this. It's important, very important. Before you decide to date, be clear on your desired outcome. Before you decide to date, be clear on your desired outcome. In other words, what's the goal? What's your purpose for dating? Are you dating just to meet people? Are you going to be dating with the hope of getting married? Are you dating and just in a single phase of your life where you don't want anything serious? You want to just meet people, get to know people. Whatever your desired goal is, you need to be clear on this, because here's the problem. Simps and people who get no respect from people are people who go out here and date under the guise of one thing when they really just want something else. And I've discovered this. People will respect you more if you just tell them what it is and what it ain't. Are y'all listening to the old man? People will respect you more. This is especially for you single people. Married people, I'm coming to you in just 1 second. This is especially for you single people. Folk will respect you more if you just tell them what it is and what it ain't. And you guys got this the worst. You'll go out here and make somebody feel like you want a relationship just to get what you need or get what you want. But when really that was all you wanted and you're just out here dating, just say that. And if she's interested, she'll tell you. If she's not, she'll tell you. And at least everybody knows it. Everybody's on the same page. There's no surprises. And that's that. So be clear on your desired outcome. This is why, married people, I'm coming to you. You ready? This is why a lot of marriages struggle. You know why? Because folk came together, they dated, they got married. And then when they got married, what did they do? They stopped dating. And a lot of times, the reason why married couples stop dating when they get married is because they weren't clear on the outcomes when they were dating and they were single. See, when you clear on the outcome while you're single and dating that person, and then you marry them, then when you marry them, you won't lose sight of what you had to do in order to marry them. I'm teaching better than y'all saying amen. Which means, and listen to me, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this tomorrow. It's going to be a bloody mess on my personal Facebook page tomorrow. It's going to be a bloody mess. I'm going to get in trouble again. I don't care. But let me talk to you married folk real quick. Y'all better listen to me. Whatever you did to get them, you got to do it to keep them. I don't have Bible for this. This ain't Bible. This is Zeb Tally III. Whatever you did to get them, you're going to have to do that to keep them. And 9 times out of 10, it involves dating and courting. You get married, and all of a sudden, when you were dating them, y'all were never at the house. You get married, now you don't ever want to leave the house. When y'all was dating, y'all was always eating out, hanging out, having fun. You get married, then all of a sudden, all you want to do is eat in the house. You too tired because you've been working all week. No, you better find the same energy you had when you were single. You better find that energy when you get married. Now, I hear you. I hear you, especially you mothers. I hear, well, Pastor, I'm tired. I got to chase these kids all day. What about that, Pastor? What if I got to chase kids? Like, Pastor, I don't have the energy. Let me tell you something. You better find it or find you a nanny. Find you a niece or a nephew that you can pay a couple of dollars to babysit one Friday every week, or one Friday a month, or one Friday every other week, something. I'm just telling you things that I've learned. The same things that you did to get them, you have to do to keep them. And dating is one of those things. And I just don't get it. I don't get how people have all of this fun when they're single, and then when they get married, they get boring. And again, I can't deal with this today. I'm going to deal with this tomorrow, and it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be bloodshed. But I mean that. So married folk, don't stop dating. Date. Find your baby. If you got to take the kids because you ain't got nobody, that's fine. Take them. They'll enjoy the time together, and you'll wear them out, and they'll be sleepy by the time you get them home, and then they can go to bed, and then y'all can have a nightcap. But married folk, don't stop dating. Just because you're married don't mean you don't need to be dating or courting the person you're with. And you got to think about all the fun you had when you met. Well, Pastor, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70 now. I'm too old to be. No, you're not. You're not too old. You find ways to be fun. I don't care if it's bingo night. In your 70s, 80s, go play bingo. They do that. Get on up. Y'all grab each other and go play bingo. I told y'all about the couple when I skydived that was in their 70s, and they were celebrating like 50 years of marriage. And they were falling out the air in the plane. 70s. In their 70s. Old white man, old white lady. And it was just one of the cutest things. They landed. When they landed, kissed each other, was walking back to where the other people were that were waiting to go on, taking off their parachute stuff. And let me tell you something. Just as vivacious, like moving. He wasn't moving like no 70. He was moving like he was about 30. He wasn't moving like he was 70. But you know what? I saw that, and I learned something, and that is, you keep that fun, keep that dating in your stuff, it'll keep you lively. Some of y'all got old fast because you got boring fast. I ain't got time to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow. The reason some of you getting old fast because you boring fast. You got married, you got kids, and then you use kids as an excuse. Got kids. I'm too tired to do this. I'm too tired to do this. The kids got me. I'm too tired. You better get up and work out. You better change your diet so you can fix your metabolism. Y'all don't like this. I know you don't. And especially you ladies, I know you upset, but I meant what I said. And guys, it apply to you. It apply to you too. I ain't leaving y'all. I'm an equal opportunity basher. Guys, if you was in shape before you met her and you cared about your health and your looks and being put together before you met her, don't get married and get fat. I said it. And then you be the first one, can barely get off the couch talking about her shape. Pastor, I would be. into a pastor, but she gained all of that weight. Well, look at you. Like, I never understood how guys complain about the weight of women and their stomach is over their belt to the point where they can barely see their feet. Like, what you complaining about? I tell you what, you complain about her weight when you get yours together. Oh, y'all don't like this. I don't care who don't like it. My security is on the line today. I see him. I meant it. I don't care who like it. You complain about her weight when you fix yours. But if you kept in shape before, if you kept yourself in shape before you got her, you need to keep yourself in shape after you get her. And if you're not, don't say one word about her gaining weight. Not one. Shut up. Y'all just be fat together. You don't have a right to say a word if you're not keeping yourself together. You ain't got a right to say a word. Y'all giving out my personal Facebook. I'm telling you, tomorrow gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I may have to give my license back to my dad or Mother Brenda. Mother Brenda might sit me down for a month. It's gonna be bad. Tomorrow's gonna be brutal. I'm just telling you now. I don't care. I'm for it. I'm here for it. But I meant what I said, y'all. So make sure you're clear on the outcomes. What is it that you desire as a result of dating? All right. Now, I want you to record this. And then I got to give you some tips and I'm done. This blessing anybody? Are y'all sharing this video? I need y'all to share this video. Y'all not sharing this video. Let's get these numbers up a little bit high. Share this video quickly. Record this. You ready? And look, because some of y'all are offended by the fat comment. Let me just say this. I am not disparaging people for being fat. That's not, I hope y'all didn't get that out of what I said. I hate sometimes I have to go back and give clarifying statements, but people are so sensitive. Let me make sure I'm clear. I am not disparaging fat people. That ain't what it's about. It's about setting your intentions, one, and it's about two, being clear that the things you did to get people are the things you're going to have to do to keep them, or else don't complain. Okay, are we all clear there? Right? Are we all clear? Or else don't complain. Don't you dare, fella, say a word about her tiger stripes and her stretch marks and all this stuff. And here you are, can barely get off the couch, or can't even go up the steps, a flight of steps, without being out of breath. And then you want to talk about her? No, shut up, dude. You lose weight, you get in shape, you get healthy, and then you might be able to say something. I meant what I said. I said what I meant. All right, record this. Dating that works is not an accident. It's a choice. Okay? Dating that works is not an accident. It's a choice. Dating that works is not an accident. It's a choice. They going in on Instagram. Dating that works is not an accident. It's a choice. Meaning, who you decide to date, how you decide to date them, will be determined in part by how you see your destiny, by how you see your future, by how you see what you want included in your destiny, by how you see what you want included in your future. Okay? And some of you have to think about this and think about the choices you're going to make as it relates to dating. Are you going to date people to be with them because of the material things that they bring? Are you going to date and marry for love? Are you going to date and marry for convenience? These are very honest conversations that you need to have with yourself and with the people you're dating. Like, what phase are you in your life, and how are you going to date? And how is that dating going to align with where you are and where you're heading? These are things you need to think about, right? But it shouldn't be accidental. You shouldn't just be falling into dates, just falling into meeting people. No, it needs to be a choice. It needs to be very intentional when you do this. All right. Now, let me give you 5 tips. I'll give you 5 effective dating tips that are going to help you. All right. 5 effective dating tips, and I'm done. I'm doing good on time, but I got to hurry up so I don't run over. Let me give you 5 effective dating tips. Is this blessing anybody? I want you to share this video if it is. Tag some people. Share this video if it is. Tell them to tune in because this is going to be good. I'm wrapping this up. I'm going to give you 5 dating tips to help you, and then I'm done. All right. And again, single people, married people, anything in between, this is going to all apply to you. All right. Tip number 1. You ready? Know your type. Know your type. Now, it's not for reasons you think. I'm going to explain this in a second. But tip number 1 is this: know your type. Okay. Now, it is impossible to know what your type is if you don't first know who you are. Let me say that. If you don't first know who you are, it's going to be impossible to know what your type is, which means you got to be honest with you about who you are. You got to be honest with you about what you're not. You got to be honest with you about what you like. You got to be honest with you about what you don't like. Not what people want for you, but what you like. Not what people desire for you. Y'all don't like this, but what you like. Know your type. Know what satisfies you, what you're attracted to, what's good for you, what ain't good for you. And I use this as an example. I'll just use me as an example. I knew I was different a long time ago, but I really knew I was different when I didn't want no wife, no hat wearing, convocation dressing. Well, I didn't want that at all. Like these other preachers want it and they can have it. I never wanted that. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. It just ain't my type. That's all there is to it. Now, to some people, that's offensive. It shouldn't be. The reason why you need to know your type, here we go, is not so you can just pursue your type. Because here's the caveat. Knowing your type is not about just pursuing your type. But knowing your type, here we go, is about knowing what you want and what you need. This is where I'm going to lose some of you. Oh, Pastor told me to know my type and go after my type. No, I didn't. I said the number 1 dating tip to know is to know your type. Now, when you know your type, you should also be aware of what you want and what you need. Because here's the bottom line. Sometimes what you want shows up in your type. Sometimes what you need doesn't show up in your type. I just gave y'all a word. Sometimes what you want shows up in your type. Normally it does. But sometimes what you need don't show up in your type. And sometimes what you need is not going to be your type, which means that while you know your type, you can't be married to your type. You can't be stuck on your type. You got to be open to something that might not be your type. Let me help some of y'all. Some of y'all missed the person you should have been married with. You know why? Married to, connected to, dating, whatever. Some of y'all missed that person. You know why? Because they were not dressed up as your type. On the surface, they didn't look like your type. This is normally when I have my conversation with you ladies about ladies and thugs, because this is the easiest way. My women at rehab understand this because they love a thug. But here's the problem. He may not look like a thug, but he may be everything that you need in a mate, in a husband. And you're going to mess around and miss the one you could have that's a hard worker that can take care of you and your family because his pants ain't hanging off his tail and he ain't looking crazy out here. So the big thing about knowing your type is so that you can become aware of what you want and what you need. Because again, when you know your type, you can find what you want, but it ain't always going to be what you need. And some of you, what God's going to send you is not going to come wrapped in a package that you thought it would come wrapped in. Watch. And that even maybe others would not come wrapped in. And that's okay. If it's what you want, It can work. Because I do also believe this. Because see, this is taught to the I don't know what happened. I think I lost service. It looks like I'm back on. Am I on? Can anybody hear me? Let me see some comments. Let me get to the comments because my